Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Hatha Level 1-2 practice. So for today, we're going to be opening up the hips. So we're going to need lots of attention and a lot of love in through that hip area, which is actually the area of our root chakra. So I picked this for today's practice so that we can open up this area and get connected and get really nice and low to the ground in a lot of various different poses in order for us to root, ground ourselves, and find that strength and stability. So let's get onto our mats. And first, before we begin today's practice, we're just going to take a few moments just to make sure that we have the appropriate props for today. So what we're going to be needing is a small blanket, a large towel, large enough for your pillow to fit in, and a pillow. So for today, we're going to take a few moments to gather our props and then finding a comfortable seat to start today's practice with a meditation. So as you've noticed, I have a little friend in front of me, crystal bowl. This one is actually tuned for our root chakra. So it's a nice, low, deep sound. And as you hear the sounds of the singing bowl, notice exactly where you feel it in the body, closing your eyes and noticing the sensations within. Let's take a moment here to bring our full awareness to the touch points of contact on the earth, the thighs, the legs, the sit bones, the glutes. Allowing the base to sink into the earth, connecting, rooting through the sit bones, deep into the ground. And then slowly guiding the hands over the belly onto the lowest part of the belly, below the navel. And then from here, noticing the touch of the hands, the warmth that permeates from the center of the palms into the belly. Beginning to inhale the warmth in from the hands throughout the base of the belly and the entire area of the pelvic bowl, as well as the hips. creating a strong foundation for our practice today as we find the intention for today's practice. And as our intention becomes clearer to us, let's take the palms together, hands in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra, placing the lengths of the thumbs over the sternum, connecting to the rhythm of the heart's beat. Let us begin today's practice with the sound of Om on our exhalation, sealing the intention throughout every single cell of our being. Inhaling now. Rubbing the hands vigorously together, creating heat through friction. Once your hands get toasty and warm, cupping the hands over the eyes, inhaling the warmth of their touch. And then as you exhale, releasing the hands away from the face and allowing the eyes to flutter open. Okay, so from here, we're actually going to make our bolster first, and then we're going to start today's class lying on the spine. Just going to make a little bit of room here. So we're going to take our blanket. I'm just going to leave it off to the side of the mat for now. And to make the bolster, we're going to extend our large towel nice and long. And then you're going to take your pillow, and we're going to fold the pillow right in half. And then you're going to roll your pillow up into your towel, like a tight little sushi roll. If at any point in time during your practice you find that the height of your bolster is too high, you can always unravel your pillow and use it flat. Okay. So from here, we're just going to make sure that we're leaving the bolster at a close distance, so just off to one side of your mat. And then we're going to come to rest on our spines with the knees bent and the feet planted. So from here, we're going to start to bring a little bit of mobility in through the hips. So we're going to take the hands over the knees. We're going to lift the feet off the ground. And then from here, we're going to inhale, knees into the chest. On your exhalation, you're going to sweep the knees nice and wide, drawing large circles with both knees away from each other. So we're going to continue this motion here, making circles in this direction. For 3, 2, and 1. Going in the opposite direction this time, pulling the knees away from the chest, and then exhaling them nice and wide. Guiding your breath in through the hips. For 3, 2, and 1. Now we're actually going to come into one of my favorite poses to teach in class, which is happy baby. Reason being, we never see happy babies in this pose being still. We always see them kicking their feet around, playing with their feet, opening up the legs, closing them, and just having fun. So we're actually going to practice that today. We're going to practice dynamic happy baby like we usually do. So we're going to take the knees nice and wide as you can take them towards the armpits, if not maybe even a little bit further than that. You're going to keep your knees bent, drawn toward the ground, and then you're going to take your feet, you're going to flip the feet up towards the sky, and you're going to take the edges of the feet into the hands. So to open up the hips first, we're going to take 3 breaths together. On each exhalation, we're going to pull the feet closer towards the earth, thus also taking the knees down towards the outskirts of the body. So let's do 3 breaths together. Inhaling. Exhale to pull. Bringing your breath into the inner hips. Inhale. And then exhale. A little bit wider. Inhaling. And then exhale. Drawing the legs closer to the earth. Beautiful. So from here, this is where we begin to have a little bit of sense of fun and play into our practice. So literally do whatever it is that your body wants to do at this moment while you have your feet in your hands. So you can draw circles with your feet. You can roll from side to side. You can extend one leg and then the other. You can do alternate legs. You can do both legs at the same time. You can do anything that you want here at all. Bring a little bit of mobility into the body, a sense of playfulness with dynamic movement. And as you move here in this playful state, you can start to actually close your eyes and notice the sensations throughout the body as you continuously move, and breathe in through the sensations, kind of giving yourself a moment here to bring lots of awareness to what your body may be asking you to do. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's guide the pads of the feet together in a reclined butterfly pose. We're going to interlace the fingers. We're going to guide the heels of the feet close towards the groin area. We're going to anchor the hips down to the ground as the knees come wide. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to keep the arms hugged into the trunk of the body, guiding the heels of the feet closer towards the sit bones. And then we're going to tilt the pelvis forward. Notice that when you tilt the pelvis towards the front of your mat here, you can start to press the edges of your feet into the hands, and then you might notice that the base of your spine begins to lift away from the mat. So we're going to stay here just for a couple of breaths, bringing a slight extension into the lumbar spine. For 2 more breaths. Beautiful. And then to release that, we're going to provide our bodies with a little bit of a twist. So let's take the legs in towards each other, hugging the knees into the chest. And then from here, we're going to exhale, extend the left leg all the way back down to the ground, guiding the left hand on the outskirts of the right knee and opening up the right arm wide. On the next exhalation, we're going to guide the right knee across the body over towards the left, taking your gaze past the right shoulder. Guiding your breath down the length of the spine and through the right hip. For 2 more breaths. Both knees come into the chest. Exhale to extend the right leg down to the ground. As you're inhaling, guiding the right hand to the outskirts of the left knee, opening up the left arm wide. Exhale, navel to spine, guiding the left the body, and taking your gaze past the left shoulder. Last breath. Inhale, center. Knees into the chest. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to transfer into a sitting position, upright. So if rolling forward brings you any sort of discomfort throughout the spine, or if that's just not something that you'd like to do today, you can find your favorite way to come up back into a seated position with crossed legs to begin. So if you'd like to try rolling up, you're going to start to cross the shins. You're going to take a hold of the front of the feet. Then you're going to inhale to roll all the way up into a seated position. Excellent. So from here, we're going to come into a butterfly posture. And then we're going to transfer ourselves into an open dragonfly. So before we do that, we're going to guide the heels towards the sit bones, enough so that you have about 10% tension in through the hips. So you don't want any more than that because we're going to stay here for a few breaths. You're going to allow the knees to drape open nice and wide, allow the inner and outer hips to soften, releasing the engagement of the glutes and the thighs. Taking a hold of the feet, opening up your feet just like a book. And then as you open up your feet, lifting and reaching through the crown of the head, guiding the shoulders away from the ears, finding integrity throughout the entire length of the spine, pulling the navel back into the spine. And then as you exhale, pivot from the hips, leading with the heart, maintaining a straight spine, start to shift the chest forward. So from here, some of us might not move too much. It's not about how forward you come forward, rather how much you come forward. It's about keeping the integrity of the spine just for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to go into a full forward fold. So let's take 2 more breaths here. And then on your next exhalation, you're going to release the hands from the feet. And then you're going to exhale into your forward fold, releasing the entire length of the spine over your legs. And allow the head to drape forward towards the ground, releasing the full weight of the head. And guiding your breath to lengthen the entire spine from the base of the skull all the way to the tailbone. Can you bring your awareness to the inner and outer hips as well as the glutes, and notice if any of these muscles have re-engaged. If they have, sending your exhalation into these areas to release any tension and engagement, allowing the hips to open up a little bit further. For 3, 2, and 1. As you inhale, we're going to walk the hands up towards the body. Beautiful. And then as we exhale, we're going to do one leg at a time. We're going to extend the right leg out all the way as you tuck the left heel in. So that right foot's going to stay fully flexed. You're going to press out through the heel. You're going to tuck the toes in towards the body. Then you're going to press the left sit bone down into the ground, grounding down. You're going to take your right hand over the right leg. And then as we inhale, we're going to sweep the left hand all the way up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, you're going to fold over the right leg. As you fold over the right leg, keeping that left arm, the left shoulder rather, open as you stack the shoulders. For 3, preparing us for dragonfly. 2, reaching vigorously over towards the right side of the body, noticing all of the sensations through the left. And 1, inhale, center. And then as you exhale, you're going to tuck the right heel in and extend the left foot out. Press out through the heel, tuck the toes in. Left hand on the leg, running down through the right sit bone. Inhale to reach up to the sky. And then exhale to fold. Guiding your breath through the whole right side of the body. Noticing all of the sensations from the hip all the way through the ribs, the armpit, and the entire length of the arm. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to rise. Beautiful. And exhale to release the hand back down to the ground. Okay, so this is where we go into dragonfly. We're going to extend that right leg out as well. So there's a couple of ways that you can go into your dragonfly. So we're going to start off with a very gentle fold. So for those of us who the pelvis is actually tipping back, this might bring a little bit of discomfort into your lumbar spine. You may choose to take a pillow and take your sit bones onto the pillow to help tilt the pelvis forward. Or you can even roll the back of your mat to take your seat onto that, or a towel or a blanket. Okay? So from here, we're going to start off with very gently coming forward. We're going to take our hands behind the back body. Fingers are pointing away from the spine. From here, we're going to inhale, open up your chest, shoulders are back, reach the crown of the head. As you exhale, you're just going to press in through the hands to shift your heart forward. If you would like to come a little bit deeper than that, you may choose to take your bolster and maybe even your blanket so that you have a little bit of support here so that you can actually rest the body over onto it. So from here, if you still find this a little bit too low for you, you can stack as many as you'd like to, or you can also use your small blanket. You can roll it up to make a little bit, feet stay flexed at all times. We're going to rest the forehead down. Lastly, if you would like to come deeper still, so we're going to actually hold this pose for a couple of minutes, literally 2 minutes. If you'd like to come further still, you can release. Taking some nice deep breaths in through the hips. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you inhale, rise, reaching the crown of the head up towards the sky. If you had any props in front of you, taking them off towards the side. And then from here, once we ever do anything that's very opening towards the body and we've held it for a significant period of time, we want to be very mindful coming out of these poses. So you're going to take your hands underneath the knees. And we're slowly going to guide the legs back towards each other. Taking the legs right out in front. And then we're going to extend the legs forward and come into another forward fold with the feet still flexed. Inhale to lengthen, reaching up to the sky. So if your sit bones were propped up at all, you can keep them propped up. And then we're going to scoop the belly in, and then as you exhale, coming into your forward fold. So your hands can either come to your feet, any area of your legs, or the earth right on the outskirts of your legs as well. Let's take one more deep breath here, down the length of the spine, through the hips. Inhale to rise. Beautiful. All right, so from here, we're going to start to get a little bit of mobility and strength happening. So we're going to take our small blanket, we're going to fold it so that we can place it right at the center of the mat. Now we're going to come into hands and knees, tabletop position. So from here, just to get a little bit of motion, We're going to be doing a variation of cat-cow. So you're going to tuck the toes under. You're going to make sure that the knees are right underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. And then as you exhale, you're going to send the sit bones all the way back to the heels. And then from here, we're just going to inhale forward with a nice straight spine. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. So this is a much more gentler way of doing your cat-cows here with very minimal movement in the spine. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Let's do one more round. Inhale forward. And then exhale back. Inhale, tabletop position. From here, you're going to hug the spine through the navel. And you're going to step your knees a little bit closer towards each other. Perfect. So for stability's sake, we're going to keep our toes tucked under, and then we're going to start isolating the movement through just the right hip here. So we're going to try to maintain a nice long spine without dipping the spine or curling it up. So as you pull the navel in, straightening the spine, reaching through the crown of the head. From here, we're going to, on the next inhalation, take the right knee in towards the chest without shifting the spine. And then as you exhale, start to circle your knee outward. Beautiful. So drawing large circles with your right knee. Trying to maintain a nice straight spine. Let's do 2 more rotations in this direction. And then we're going to change directions. Circling back. 3, 2, and 1. Descending the right knee, tucking the right toes under. From here, we're going to descend the sit bones back onto the heels. We're going to take the crown of the sky. We're going to take the crown of the head to the sky, rather. And from here, we're just going to release our wrists real quick before we go onto the left side. So from here, you have 2 choices. You can either interlace your fingers and roll out your wrists this way, or you can roll out your wrists individually, making sure that you go into both directions for 3, whichever way you choose to do it. 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's come back down to all fours with the knees slightly tucked in towards each other. And then we're going to straighten the spine, lengthen, reach to the crown of the head, navel to spine. Inhale, left knee into the chest. And exhale to circle it all the way back. Continue making your large circles here, kind of like you're swishing a big jar of peanut butter around. Large circles with that knee, strengthening and opening up that hip. Maintaining integrity through the entire trunk of the body. Nice strong core, supporting. Let's take 1 more rotation in this direction. And then switching directions. For 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Let's untuck the toes for now. The toes are going to come in towards each other, and then you're going to slide your knees as wide as you can slide them. Descend the sit bones back towards the heels, and we're going to walk the hands as far as you can forward into the biggest cat stretch. Kind of like you're a tiger reaching up a tree, allowing the sit bones to land heavily on the heels, breathing deeply in through the hips. Beautiful. All right, let's come back into tabletop position. And then from here, we're going to transfer into downward facing dog. If you would like to remove your blanket now, you may choose to do so. Off to one side, tucking your toes under, sending your heels all the way back into space. Downward facing dog, guiding your pinkies towards the edges of the mat, opening up your fingers nice and wide, pressing through the heels of the palms and the lengths of the fingers, descending the shoulders away from the ears, lifting the eyes of the sit bones high to the sky, descending the heels of the feet closer to the ground for 3 more breaths. Bringing the navel to the spine, soft knees, gaze to the front of your mat. As you inhale, step or hop towards the front of your mat into your flat back. Lift and lengthen the entire spine. Reach to the crown of the head, guiding the shoulders away from the ears, softening the knees as you exhale into your forward fold. All right, so from here, we're going to practice giving ourselves hugs with our thighs. So let's step the hands right in front of the feet. And then from here, you're going to start to bend your knees and guide them as wide as you can guide them. Your heels will lift off the ground, by the way. So from here, you're going to start to walk your hands as much forward as you can take them. Maybe even aligning the thighs with the trunk of the body, if that's available for you today. On your inhalation, you're going to squeeze the thighs into the trunk of the body. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Strengthen those hips. And then as you exhale, we're going to press them away from us as far as you can. Press, 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 press. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, push. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, push. Let's do one more. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, push. Beautiful. Relaxing the engagement of the legs. Walking your hands back. And from here, we're going to slowly descend the heels, guiding the legs back towards each other. From here, we're going to take a hold of the elbows. We're going to slide the forearms right over the crown of the head, aligning the arms with the ears. On our inhalation, we're going to lift into flat back. Inhale, flat back, lengthen the spine. Exhale to scoop the belly in and forward fold. Two more breaths. And then once we rise, we're going to go into one of my favorite things to do called the breath of joy. All right. So pressing through the feet, softening the knees. Inhale, trace the circumference of the sun all the way up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Perfect. Before we get into some more strengthening and opening, let's do the breath of joy. So the breath of joy is a 2-part movement. So yes, there's movement as well as a lot of breath. So it's 3 deep inhalations, kind of like you're stuffing your face in a big bouquet of fresh flowers. And a big deep exhalation, forcing the breath out through the mouth. like so. You can make any sound that you want on the way out, by the way, whatever makes you happy. All right, so with that breath, we're also going to move. So on the inhalations, you're going to inhale, hands forward. Inhale, hands to the side. Inhale, hands forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Throw the hands all the way up behind you, through the legs. Inhale to come back up through center and continue. All right, let's go and do the breath of joy together. 3, 2, 1. Moving as fast or as slow as you want. Side effects are smiling, sometimes even laughing. For 5, 3, 2, last one, biggest breaths. Inhale back. Exhale, arms wide. And coming back towards center, taking the feet together. And we're going to continue on with our practice. Inhale, tracing the sun, reaching up nice and high, Hastasana. Exhale, pivot from the hips, lead with the heart, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. And then from here, as we exhale, we're going to step the left foot back as far as you can step it. Beautiful. You're going to slide that left hand a little bit closer towards the right foot. And then from here, we're going to inhale, right hand starts to reach up to the sky as you begin to pivot towards the outer edges of your feet here. And you're going to trace the right fingertips across the sky over towards the back of the room. You're going to keep your toes tucked, feet are first, for 3. Then we're going to transfer from here into a one-legged squat. 2 and 1. As you inhale, you're going to trace the fingertips back across the sky. You're going to pivot the feet back through center. You're going to step the heels of the hands, the heels of the palms, into the inner crest of the right foot. And then from here, you're going to flip the left foot over. You're going to come up onto your heel, your right heel, so your left heel. Your right heel might lift here. You're going to keep that left foot fully flexed, tucking the toes in towards you. And we're going to breathe here for a couple of breaths, guiding our exhalations through the back of the left leg, the thigh, the hip, and the glute. If you would like a little bit of a challenge today, you may choose to take the hands towards heart center for 3, 2, and 1. Placing the hands back down to the ground if they were not already there. And we're going to step the left hand closer towards the top of the mat as you take the right arm all the way back to the outer edge of the right leg, flipping the feet back to center. From here, we're going to inhale, step the left foot forward, flat back. And then exhale to forward fold. Let's take one more breath here in our forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And then as you exhale, you're going to step the right foot back. Slide the right hand closer towards the left foot. As you inhale, sweep the left hand all the way back as you pivot towards the outer edges of your feet, tucking the toes in. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to sweep the left hand back through center, guiding the heels of the hands towards the inner crest of the left foot as you begin to flip the right foot over, coming onto your heel and lifting the toes up towards the sky. So from here, you may choose to leave your hands on the ground, or if you'd like a little tiny bit of a challenge for today's practice, you can take the hands towards heart center into Anjali Mudra. For 3, guiding your breath through the inner right hip all the way down the leg. 2, and 1. All right, let's sweep that left arm all the way back. Let's walk that right hand forward. We're going to pivot towards the front of the room. Inhale, step the right foot forward, flat back. And then exhale to forward fold. Soften the knees. Inhale, rise, Hastasana, reaching up to the sky. Exhale, hands through heart center. So before we're going to open up the hips even more, we're going to strengthen the outer hips in order for us to be fully supported. So we're going to be doing this in chair pose, which is called Utkatasana. So in chair pose, if you ever feel any discomfort in the knees, I would always suggest to take the majority of your weight into your heels. And if that's not suffice, you can always shorten your lever of your arms. So you can either take your hands towards the shoulders, or you can guide the hands into Anjali Mudra in front of the chest. Okay. Inhale, sweep the hands up towards the sky, shift the sit bones all the way back, bending the knees greatly, taking your seat. Make sure that you can still see your feet. And then from here, you're going to start to push your feet away from each other. So as soon as you start pressing your feet away from each other, you're going to feel the activation on the outside of your hips, your glutes, and your thighs. Steady your gaze, focusing on a point that doesn't move. For 3. Pushing those feet away from each other vigorously. 2. And 1. Exhale to forward fold. Hinge from the hips. Beautiful. Last breath. Inhale, flat back. And then as we exhale, we're going to step the left foot all the way back. So instead of pivoting towards the edges of the feet, we're going to do something a little bit different. So we're going to skip right into the one-legged squat, and then we're going to actually switch from side to side. So that's going to be a little bit more fun. So let's take the heels of the palms towards the inner crest of the right foot. Let's flip that left foot over, flat onto the ground this time. And then from here, we're going to inhale, walk the hands through center. Both feet are pivoted out at a 45-degree angle. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the left knee and lowering the hips down. So we're going to transfer from side to side for a couple of breaths. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. Beautiful. Let's inhale to center and dip towards the left. Inhale, center. Dip the left sit bones down. Beautiful. And then just going to flip sides here. So we're going to walk the right hand closer towards the left foot, sweep the left arm towards the outer edge of the left foot, flipping the toes towards the back of your mat. Beautiful. Inhale, step the right foot forward, flat back, and then exhale to forward fold. One more breath in your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step the left foot all the way back. So now we're going to transfer ourselves towards the front of the mat. Let's guide the heels of the palms towards the inner crest of the right foot. We're going to flip that left foot all the way over. Before we transfer completely over towards the front of the mat, we're going to have a little bit of fun here. So we're going to flip from side to side for a couple of breaths. Inhale to walk the hands through center. Exhale to dip. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. One more time. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. Inhale, center. We're going to stay at center here. And then from here, as you exhale, you're going to flip the toes in so that the edges of the feet are in line with the edges of the mat. And then you're going to exhale, forward fold. The hands land right in between the feet. The arms are drawn in towards each other. Wrists are underneath the shoulders. Breathing deeply. And from here, you're going to start to push the feet away from each other. Notice that when you push the feet away from each other, the back of the thighs and the glutes start to fire up. Woo! 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Inhale, flat back. Hands come back towards the hips, soften the knees, and then rising all the way up. Beautiful. Let's flip the heels back in, toes out at a 45-degree angle, getting ready for some more squats. All right. So from here, you can take whichever mudra that feels good for you today. So for today, I'm going to take the awareness mudra. So it's kind of the opposite of interlacing the fingers. We're still interlacing the fingers, but we're actually going to be tucking the fingers into the palms of the hands and crossing the thumbs. If there's any other mudra that you would like to take for today's practice, please feel free to do so. Whichever one is to your heart's desire. So from here, you're going to open up the chest, slide the shoulders back, and then as you exhale, you're going to start to bend the knees and guide the sit bones towards the earth. You're going to push the knees back as you descend the sit bones down. You're also going to push the feet away from each other just like you were in your forward fold. From here, you're going to start to close your eyes, centering the body, keeping the shoulders right over the hips, feeling the strength of your pillars, your legs, opening up a root. And then from here, once I count down all the way from 3, we're going to start to become dynamic in our movement. You can make any movement that you want in this pose, but be mindful and be careful. 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to start to shift from side to side and notice how that feels in my body. So as you move the way your body is asking you to move right now, paying mindful awareness to the sensations within your body for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sliding back into center. We're going to take one breath here together, descending the sit bones towards the earth. Inhale up. And then we're going to exhale, heel toe the feet in towards each other. All right, so we have completed our standing asanas for today's practice. Let's mosey back down towards the ground. So from here, you're just going to cross your feet. And then you're going to come down, bending your knees, guiding your sit bones down to the ground. So from here, to release our hips and the glutes, we're going to come into a pose called thread the needle. So let's come to shift back onto our spines. Knees are bent. And we're going to guide the arms into T position for now. And then we're going to take the outer right ankle over the left thigh. From here, we're going to thread the needle, guiding the right arm into the space between the thighs as you lift the left foot off the ground and interlace the fingers either behind the thigh or over the left shin. From here, you're going to keep your right knee pressed away from the body. As you exhale, guide the left knee into the chest. Last breath. Beautiful. At the base of the exhalation, planting the left foot back down to the ground, unwinding the legs, and then eventually guiding the outer left ankle over the right thigh. Keeping your left knee pressed away from you, exhale, right knee into the chest. Threading the needle for a couple of breaths. Keep that left foot nicely flexed. Last breath. Beautiful. All right, so from here, we're going to unwind the legs and then guide the feet back down to the ground. All right, so from here, we're going to take that small blanket and place it. So we're prepping ourselves to rest. So we're going to take our bodies into a restorative supported posture using our bolster. If at any point in time, during any practice, honestly, your body wants to do any other pose that is outside of what's being said, I always encourage you to follow what your body's asking you to do and to stay in tune with the sensations within your body. So if at any point in time anything doesn't feel right within your body, take note and make the appropriate adjustments or changes in order to bring a sense of happiness and harmony within yourself. If you would like to, we're going to go into a supported butterfly posture. So we're going to take the bolster right under the knees, and the knees are going to be as wide as you can take them with the pads of the feet facing in towards each other. Here, you're going to guide your palms up towards the sky, arms down to the ground. Allowing the hips to stay open, gently supported with your bolster. As you lay here, taking the next few deep breaths in through the nostrils and out through the mouth, relaxing any residual tension that may be left in the body and releasing it to the earth, surrendering to gravity and letting go. Taking the biggest breath that you can take, inhaling through the nostrils, exhaling through a sigh. Tucking the knees into the chest and gently rolling over towards the right side of the body. Taking a moment in gratitude for honoring your body today, for paying attention to sensations, the language in which your body communicates with you. And always paying mindful awareness to your first and most important teacher, your sensations, your body. And always listening to that first. As you inhale, rising to a seated position to close today's practice with a sound of Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi to close today's practice. Coming to a tall seat, guiding the hands together in Anjali Mudra, and remembering your intention for today's practice. Let us take our breath to Om now. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May every single cell of your entire being be filled with love, light, abundance, bliss, freedom, and optimal health. May all beings be happy, be happy, be happy. Namaste. I hope that you all enjoyed this class, and it is always a pleasure to guide you in any and all practices. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop a comment below on any of the videos, as well as if you have any requests into what you would like to see and practice daily. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Happy Wednesday!